Hello, dear students. Your unit tests are over and I hope they went well. After a long time, that is, after the break of Diwali vacation, after your revisions, after your unit tests, it's time to start our second semester. And the first chapter in the second semester is chapter number 10, Spheres of the Earth, from the Geography section. So let's start this chapter. Spheres of the Earth. When we say the word sphere, till now we were using it in the sense of a ball or the shape of a ball. And we learned the terms hemisphere, which is half of sphere. So that sphere meant a circle. But sphere also means a part or a field or domain. So when we are talking about the spheres of the earth, the different areas of the earth, it is not just physical location, but all the things that make the environment of the earth. And earth is the only planet which has all these things. That's why it's quite unique. Our earth is unique in the solar family. Earth is the only planet which has got favorable temperature, water and life, which is valuable gift to the earth. There is still no evidence that water and oxygen are available in the sufficient amount on the other planets. Exploration has been done to go to other planets to find the life there, or whether human beings can live on the other planets. But till now, there has been no evidence that water and oxygen can be found on the other planets. Ordinarily, we know that the Earth was just a fireball at the time of its origin. Fireball just like the sun. When the Earth came into existence during the time of its origin, it was just like a fireball. As this fireball cooled down slowly, it later transformed into many matters, respectively like liquid and solid. But when that fireball started cooling down, the transformation started and it transformed into many matters like liquid and solid. Liquid like water and solid the land. In this way, the air gas around the earth's surface came into existence. Now, when that fireball cooled, like that heat was there, no doubt the matter can be there, can be seen, like we got the hydrosphere, we got the water and we got the land. But that air also had certain gases. So, this way the earth was created. Huge ditches on this sphere were filled with water and turned into oceans. Ditches means the pots or the holes. So, those huge ditches were filled with water and they turned into oceans. Thus, the exact form of Earth was created. So, initially, when it was just a fireball and it cooled, it transformed into liquid and solid, and the gases were there around it. Hence, this way the Earth came into existence. Now, there are mainly four spheres of the Earth, four areas, or if we have to divide. So, the first one is lithosphere, which is solid Earth. Second, hydrosphere, which is all water. Third, atmosphere, that is gases, the air. And fourth, biosphere, all life, all the things which grow from the earth. So let's start in detail about all these spheres. Upper layer of the earth's surface is generally made up of soil and solid matters. The upper layer of the earth on which we live, which we can easily see when we go anywhere on the earth. So that layer is made up of soil and solid matters. Solid matters like rocks or stones or various other such matter. Now, I hope you already know what is solid, liquid, gaseous and all. So this solid layer which we see. Now litho is a Greek word for soil. So as this layer of the earth is made up of soil, and litho means soil, so it is also called lithosphere, as this layer is also made up of rocks and solid matters. It is known as the rock sphere or the solid sphere. Now let's study about the area and formation of the lithosphere. The upper layer of the Earth's crust is approximately 64 to 100 kilometers thick. The land area, the region, it is 64 to 100 kilometers thick. Light matters like aluminium and silica are mainly found in that. Aluminium and silica, they are the minerals. So these matters are found in that region of 64 to 100 kilometers. Here we are talking about the land. So that upper layer is that thick. This layer is thin in the deep sea. Now here also you can see the region, like if we take the example of the yellow portion below the ocean, the oceanic crust is there. So that is also region of lithosphere, but it is thin below the ocean and it is thick where the water is not there. Lithosphere occupies 29% of the Earth's surface. Now, whenever we see the image of Earth, it is mostly seen as a blue ball. Why? Because that blue portion is in majority. The blue portion of water, that is in majority. And that is the other region on which we have the various continents that contains 29% of the Earth's surface. So the other 71% will be water. So the 29%, the region of land, is 29% of the Earth's surface. Mountains, plateaus and plains, etc. are there on this part of the land. Now, we'll study in detail about this later, but even otherwise, you know what are mountains and what are plains. So all these things are on part of the land. As we go into the depth of the lithosphere, the temperature increases gradually. The depth of the lithosphere, that is when we move towards the center of the earth. The lithosphere is there, the portion of the land. But when we start moving down, the temperature increases gradually. Gradually means that after some portion, it is it is growing steadily. On moving towards the depth, generally per kilometer 30 degrees Celsius temperature increases. Now, as we say that when we are moving towards the depth, the lithosphere, the depth of the lithosphere, when we are moving towards the center of the earth, the core, generally per kilometer, that is for every 1 kilometer, 30 degrees Celsius temperature increases. Now you can imagine, right now due to winter we are having 20 degree or 25 degrees Celsius, such temperature is there. But for every kilometer, the temperature keeps on increasing by 30 degrees Celsius. Internal rocks are melted due to this intensive heat and turn into semi-liquid form. Now, the lithosphere is made up of soil and rocks. So, the rocks which are in the depth, they start melting due to this heat. Due to such high temperature, they start melting and they turn into semi-liquid form. Semi-liquid means they are not as liquid as water, but they are semi-liquid, like they are thick, but a thick liquid is there. This molten liquid, this liquid which is like melted, is called magma. It consists of various gases. Here, high pressure of the upper rocks is observed. Here in the picture, the orange part, that is magma, which is formed by the melting of the rocks. And above that, you can also see that there is a high pressure of the upper rocks. Hence, there is balance between two opposite forces like pressure and heat. There is pressure of the rocks and there is heat of the temperature. As the temperature is increasing, that magma is there. That is why earth crust does not burst. Like we know the center here, that magma is there, but above that the pressure of the rocks is also maintained. That's why the earth does not burst. Lithosphere has close relation with biosphere and vegetation. Now, biosphere means everything that has life. So, lithosphere has close relation with biosphere and vegetation. We know vegetation. Why does it have close relation? Because everything grows on the lithosphere. Our home, water, farming, industry, and all are closely associated with lithosphere. Imagine, like, are we living our homes? Are we living on water? Or are we just floating in the air? No, right? So, everything is on the land. Everything is on lithosphere. Our home, water, that we are not getting it directly from oceans, but we also get these waters from the earth. Farming, it is the main, like our source of food, even that is dependent on lithosphere. And industries, just not the position of the industry, but all the minerals that we get, everything, all the crude oil that we get, the petroleum which is necessary, even that we get from the lithosphere. Minerals and crude oil is obtained from lithosphere. Crude oil means the petrol or diesel or so. Various crops are obtained through farming. Various industries and other economic activities are performed in the plain regions. We know industries and other economic activities which are related to the economy, which are related to the earnings. So all these activities are performed in the plain regions. Plain regions, here we are thinking like which are steady, which are not having any slopes, or not on the mountains. Forests on the mountainous region is indebted to the lithosphere. On the mountainous regions, the forests which are grown, which are there, they are indebted. Indebted means they owe their existence to the lithosphere. In short, it can be said that the pillar from food to dwelling and base of our existence means lithosphere. So, in conclusion, it can be said the base of our existence, the main feature of our existence is lithosphere. From food to dwelling, the food that we get through the farm, or the dwelling, the place where we live, even that, everything is dependent on the lithosphere. I hope this section of the lithosphere is clear. So let's move towards the next sphere. The second sphere is hydrosphere. Now, previously in lithosphere, we studied that 29% of the Earth's surface is covered with land, or we can say lithosphere. So what about the other 71%? That is covered by water. So that water, hydro means water. So that 71% region is the hydrosphere. The proportion of water area is more on the earth than the land area. You can see here, like even when we think of the image of the earth, it's more of the blue portion and less of the brown or the land region. So we know the proportion of water is more than that of land. Area of the Earth's surface occupied by water is known as hydrosphere. So, all the region, all the area that is occupied by water, here it consists of everything. If we think of the North Pole or the South Pole or the glaciers, I mean, if we think of snow or the free that thick layer of ice, those glaciers, that is also a form of water. So all the region that is covered by water is hydrosphere. Approximately 71% of the total earth surface is covered with water. This area of the earth's surface is so vast that continents appear as if island. Now we see, like from the image, we mostly see that blue picture is more, and the uh, land region is less. So they look like the huge countries, the huge continents. Even they look like islands because they are surrounded by all sides with water. Part of the earth having huge water mass are known as oceans. Let's study about these oceans now. Here, when we look at the map, we can see that everywhere there is blue region, that is water, and the continents, they are surrounded by from all sides with water. Hence, they look like islands. We know islands are the region which are surrounded from all sides with water. Now, these huge water mass, not a small water mass, not the regions which have small ponds or lakes, but the huge water mass where there is lots of water. Like you can't see from one end to the other end of that uh, water body. These huge water mass are known as oceans. They are respectively well known as the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian, and the Arctic Ocean. Here, from the picture also, you can see the Pacific Ocean. As we know, the earth is round. So the Pacific Ocean, it is that big. Like when we take out the picture, we can see that Pacific Ocean is on both sides. But actually, it's just joined. Then we have the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. Here in the picture, it has been given as Southern Ocean, but it is part of the Arctic Ocean. Oceans on the earth are very deep and huge. Like we know that they are really very deep and they are very huge. 10 to 11 kilometer deep valleys are there in the bottom. Now students, I hope you know what are valleys. They are like high. So 10 to 11 kilometer deep valleys are there in the bottom of these oceans. They are so deep, like they even have such kind of valleys. Various landforms like earth surface are there in the bottom of these oceans. Here we can see caves, like caves we normally find on the land surface, on the upper part of the earth, but these kind of landforms are also found at the bottom of these oceans. We can see how the diver is taking the torch and they have gone to depth of the ocean where such kind of landforms can be seen. 97% of the total Earth's water is found in the oceans and it is saline water. Saline means it has salt in it. Remaining water, approximately 2/3 part, is in the form of ice sheets on the poles and on the other high mountains like Himalayas. The water, which is lying under earth crust, flows in the form of lake and rivers, is very less in proportion. Now we see, like most, no doubt, earth has lots of water, but that water, majority of it is in the oceans. That is 97% lies in the oceans and it is saline water. Next, after the 97%, we have the 3%, and two-thirds of that 3%, which is 2%, that is found at the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole, and in the form of ice on the high mountains like Himalayas. We have the Himalayas, or in the Switzerland, we have the Alps. They have that ice sheet. Like there, the other 2% is of water we find, and the 1%, the remaining 1%, is the underground water. And we also get that from the lakes and rivers, not specifically the underground, but which are generated underground, and they flow from the rivers are flowing, and the lakes, we can see the lakes. So that is the water which consists of just 1%, and it is very less in proportion to the other parts of the water. So these are the main water bodies. The first picture is of oceans. The next picture is of ice sheets at the mountains and the glaciers or at the poles. And the third picture, we have lakes and rivers. So this whole is our hydrosphere. Living creatures and plants on the earth cannot survive without water. It is available through food or through moisture from the air. We need water not just only for drinking or for our daily uses, but we also need it in the air, like that moisture content. If the air is too dry, we may not be able to survive. The existence of hydrosphere is the existence of the living being. Most of the humidity for the earth's rain comes from the ocean. You know the water cycle, how the rains come or and all. So that humidity for the earth's rain comes from the ocean. At the bottom of the sea, there lies a large amount of precious minerals. Salt is obtained from the water, and its bottom contains minerals like manganese, iron, tin, etc. We know salt is generated from the ocean, but we also get various minerals like manganese, iron, tin, and many other from the bottom of the ocean. The ocean is also a stock of protein-rich food for humans. Humans who eat the seafood like fishes, lobsters, shrimps, and various other seafood is available from the oceans, which are high in proteins. There is enormous power in the sea and ocean waves, currents and tides of the oceans. Now, you have heard about hydroelectricity, electricity that is generated through water. Now, even at the normal dams, there is a power plant conducted which converts the water energy into, the energy which is generated by the force of water into electricity. Even with the waves of the ocean or the tides, currents and tides of the ocean, that is also used to create energy. By its management or usage, electrical energy can be obtained. Here there is just a small picture of various kinds of machinery which is installed in the ocean, and they convert the energy of the ocean, like the energy of the waves or currents or tides, into electricity. The oceans have developed as waterways. Well, we all know that ocean is also one of the modes of transportation. As we have the land transportation, as we have the air transportation, there is also transportation by ships or cruise. So that is also a mode of transportation. Waterways are also more favorable in the trade of different countries. Now, countries which have the water bodies and they are not connected by lands, so it is also favorable to countries many countries for trade when they need to import or export goods. Ocean is needed, the waterways are needed. So that's all for today. I hope the concept about lithosphere and hydrosphere is clear to you. There is no written homework for today, you just have to go through the video again, or you can also go through the textbook. We'll continue with this chapter in the next class. Till then, just enjoy your day and be safe. Bye.